So the synopsis for this is actually really long, so I'm just going to read it so you can hear what IMDb says this movie is about. Forced into early retirement by a degenerative illness, former baseball player Ray Waller moves into a new house with his wife and 2 children. He hopes that the backyard swimming pool will be fun for the kids and provide physical therapy for himself. However, a dark secret from the home's past soon unleashes a malevolent force that drags the family into the depths of inescapable terror. It's a haunted pool. So Night Swim is directed by Bryce McGuire and is about a haunted pool. That's it. Alright, let's talk about the positives, because honestly there's not a lot. Child acting is competent. That was good. There's some flashback scenes to baseball where they use a real MLB team. That was kind of cool. Look, there's this thing with January movies where studios tend to put the movies that they have the least amount of faith in or that they don't think will succeed and just kind of throw them in January. So when you get a January horror movie, it's probably not going to be very good, and this certainly lives up to the reputation of not being very good in January. I really want to believe that this was made by somebody that actually had a good idea, or at least a decent idea, and has passion behind what they're trying to do, but somewhere along the line, maybe through the studio or whatever, it just got misconstrued and ended up resulting in what we now know as Night Swim. I will admit that there's one real positive it has, which is there are certain sequences that are actually kind of scary. Not amazingly scary. A lot of it's just stuff you've seen before, but there are a couple shots that are creative. There's especially a scene where a woman's like swimming in the pool and just doing laps back and forth, and the way it's done, it's kind of a first-person view of looking in the water and looking out. I know we know what's going to happen, but it was kind of an interesting way to do it. Alright, let's get into the negatives, because that's going to be a lot more substantial. This movie is awful. It's boring, it's not interesting. It really lacks at keeping your attention. Like, there were honestly a couple points where I started checking my watch, being like, okay, are we done yet? Like, is this close to over? How long have I been sitting here? It's only an hour and 45 minutes. It's only an hour and 45 minutes. Feels a lot longer. Look, this is a cookie-cutter, basic movie at the end of the day. Everything that you would expect is in this. It's loaded with jump scares. It's loaded with fake jump scares where there's just a loud noise and, oh, it's a friend tapping you on the shoulder. It's literally in this movie. There's nothing new here. It even does the whole thing of there's a research scene, so we have to Google it and see what's going on with the pool. What's the history with this pool? Which leads us to the old lady character who for some reason knows the entire legend and legacy that has ever happened with this pool and the backstory of the pool. It's a waste of time. It really is. Don't go see this movie. Do yourself a favor. Go see something better. Go watch Iron Claw for a second time. That's a lot better. I have to say, even the performances, aside from the child actors, because they actually did alright, it feels like nobody really wanted to be there. Like, there's supposed to be emotional scenes happening, but for some reason, it feels like the actors just don't care. Or maybe that's a wrong choice of words. Maybe they did care, but the script just wasn't the best for them, and they weren't really feeling it, or they are trying, but it's just not coming across very well. I'm not really buying anything that's going on. There's even a point where they introduce a Chekhov's gun situation, where, in case you don't know, Chekhov's gun is this idea where if you introduced a gun in the film, like there's a gun on the wall, cool, that gun needs to be fired at some point. Basically, the idea is that there's a purpose to what you're introducing, so if you take a moment to focus on something and say, hey, this thing is here, there needs to be a payoff for that. There's a Chekhov's gun moment, and it's so blatantly obvious, I actually laughed while I was watching, because it happened, and I was like, wow, I bet you anything that's how this film is going to end. And guess what? That's exactly how this film ended. There's this thing where they're like, alright, you know, when you're at the plate, if you're good to swing, we give you this symbol. Oh my gosh, I was waiting for that, and it 100% happened. Like, it was not good. I don't know what to say. It's not good. It's just boring. It's not interesting, and yeah, what a mess. I'm giving Night Swim a 3 out of 10. Look, at the end of the day, this is a horror movie about a haunted pool. I really think that tells you all you need to know about this movie. It's a haunted pool. If you would like to go and see a haunted pool with lots of jump scares that aren't very scary, go for it. But in my opinion, this is kind of a waste of time. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of Night Swim, or what's a horror movie that belongs in January. Subscribe for more reviews very soon. Until then, so long, friends.